If you have 20% down, should you still use the VA loan? Let's break down the numbers side by side. If you've saved up 20% for a down payment, first of all, congrats. That's a big accomplishment. But does that mean you should skip the VA loan? Well, not necessarily. I'm Jason Wood, the VA loan guy, Air Force veteran and VA loan specialist. In this video, we'll look at what happens when you compare the VA loan and the conventional loan head to head with a 20% down payment. We'll look at rates, fees, monthly payments, and who should go with which route. VA loan versus conventional loan with 20% down. Let's get one thing clear. Just because you have 20% down doesn't mean the VA loan stops being a good deal. The VA loan isn't just for people with no money, it's for those who earned the benefit. When you compare apples to apples, especially when it compares to interest rates, total cost over the time of the loan, the VA loan oftentimes wins. So let's look at how to run that math. The pros and the cons of each side by side. So here are the trade-offs to think about. The VA loan with zero down payment and the funding fee included still has no primary mortgage insurance, competitive rates. The funding fee, unless you're exempt, more lenient credit standards backed by the VA, which can help in underwriting. Conventional loans with 20% down, no mortgage insurance. You've hit that threshold. No VA funding fee, possibly higher interest rates, stricter credit and income requirements. So let's say you're buying a $400,000 home. Conventional loan with 20% down equals $80,000. No mortgage insurance, no VA funding fee. Your rate is around 7% today. The VA loan with 0% down equals $0. The funding fee is $8,600, which is 2.15% of the loan financed in. The rate is going to be a little bit lower though. We're talking about a 6.5% interest rate in this comparison. So even with the funding fee, your monthly payment might be lower with the VA. If you're exempt from the funding fee, it's even better. Here's what most people miss. With great credit and a 20% down, VA rates often beat conventional by 0.5% or more. That can save you thousands of dollars over the life of the loan, even with the funding fee. I had a client who saved 90 grand to put down, and he assumed he didn't need the VA loan anymore. So when we ran the numbers side by side, and even with the funding fee, the VA loan saved him over $200 a month because that difference in interest rate and how it impacted the monthly payment. I had another client who had heard a lot about jumbo loans, and they were buying an expensive home. They had saved up enough money for a 10% down payment on a high-priced home and were really excited about the jumbo loan because they'd heard so much about it, and it seemed like if you're buying a fancy house, you should be using a jumbo loan. So what we did, we compared the VA loan head-to-head against the jumbo loan, and he actually qualified for 30% more home using the VA loan because of the lower interest rate and the looser debt-to-income ratio standards. They wouldn't have been able to buy the house that they actually got had they stuck with the jumbo loan. But the smart move is to compare and not assume. So when do you choose one over the other? Well, here's how to think about that decision. Use the VA loan if you qualify for a funding fee exemption, you want to keep more money in hand, cash on hand, you qualify for a lower VA rate, you want more flexible loan file, go conventional if you're buying a second home or investment property, you want to avoid the VA appraisal rules, or you've already maxed out on VA entitlement. Each case is different, but the winner isn't always the one that you assume. So if you've got the 20% down payment saved and you're wondering which loan to use, let's just run the numbers side by side. Let the math tell you which one is better. I'll compare the monthly payments, the closing costs, the long-term benefits, so you can make the best call for you and your family. Click the link in the description below to chat one-on-one, or visit me on valoanguy.us to get started. There's no pressure, just clarity. You've earned this benefit. Let's make sure you're using it wisely.